Here we go!
Welcome to the Nintendo Power Zone, guys. It's your boy, Nice193, with a brand new unboxing video. And today we have something that has me a little conflicted. Conflicted in the sense that we have a re-release of a Pixel Pals, so it's a color variant, but it's not one that would typically be associated with a Nintendo franchise, at least at this point. So we have the Pixel Pals Hot Ryu. Hot Ryu actually made his debut in Street Fighter V, and therein lies my conundrum. Do I unbox a Pixel Pal on the channel that is inherently not of a Nintendo character, or do I do it based on the improvements that the figure has displayed? And ultimately that's what I chose. Ultimately they made a few improvements with the Hot Ryu figure that I want to discuss here in today's unboxing, so let's go ahead and start with the box as always. In the top left hand corner of the box you have the I light up word bubble. Over to the right of that you have the Street Fighter V logo. Under that you have the Pixel Pals logo. To the left of that you have a great window display where you can see Hot Ryu. Under that it has the name Hot Ryu. This is for people 14 and up. You have your PDP logo in the bottom left hand corner. Center of the box you have the 30th anniversary logo, and in the bottom right corner of the box you have the number 23, indicating that this is the 23rd figure in the Pixel Pals line. Alright guys, here it is, my favorite part of the box, the back. Why is the back my favorite part? Because I love the character descriptions that they have in the little blurbs. So let's go ahead and take a look at Hot Ryu's description. Often recognized as one of the leaders of the Street Fighter series, Ryu premiered in the very first Street Fighter game in 1987. In Street Fighter V, Ryu premiered his stylish black beard, shaggy hair, and white tattered karate pants. Still humble and respectful, Ryu continues his training and possesses a strong sense of justice. It's a pretty good description of the character. I mean, it's very similar to the original character description they had on the first Ryu Pixel Pal. But this one just pays a little bit more attention to the fact that this is Hot Ryu. You know, all dirtied up and bearded and, you know, looking pretty like war-torn. But for some reason, this version of Ryu is hot. That's not for me to decide. I'm not going to make that judgment. That's up to you guys. Is this version of Ryu hot? Let me know in the comments. Anyway guys, outside of that we have this great picture of Hot Ryu right next to that, straight out of Street Fighter V, and it's a great picture. That is some really good artwork. I think Street Fighter V is the pinnacle for the Street Fighter series as far as their 3D models are concerned, which is really great. Ultimately though, I always am gonna prefer the 16-bit sprites from the Super Nintendo era, just because that's how I grew up playing Street Fighter, and this version of Ryu doesn't inherently bring me any closer to that, but there are some improvements to this figure that I definitely want to discuss, and because I so much love the Street Fighter series that it felt wrong to not unbox this figure for the channel. Plus I took some really great pictures that you guys are going to see in a few minutes, so let's just keep on sliding out. Let's go ahead and unbox the figure. Okay, so we've taken Hot Ryu out of the box and take a look, because I really like the design of this particular version of Ryu. I also want to make note that this particular version of Ryu has all of the changes that were made to the Super Mario World Mario, which are the better plastic, which has the matte finish instead of the clear finish, which ultimately we determined led to less color wash, which basically means I expect a lot out of this figure, because no color wash is gonna really help the Street Fighter line, and it's really a shame that Bison and Cammy didn't get those improvements, especially Cammy, who suffered a lot of color wash in weird places. Anyway guys, I'm a little concerned here about the beard being all black. I'm wondering if this is one of those things that's gonna lose detail when we light the figure up. Is Ryu gonna look like he's missing the bottom half of his face? Most likely, but with this new material, I really hope that these black portions don't get washed out. Anyway guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure real quick. Alright guys, my bad. This is a bad picture. But anyway, let's go ahead and test out the functionality and take a look at how this figure looks like when it's lit. Holy crap, guys. Just holy crap. This Pixel Pal is freaking sick. Okay, the change in material has really upped the Pixel Pal game. When the lights were on and the figure was turned off, I couldn't tell that there was a mouth. I really couldn't. It just looked like an all black beard. And if a black beard covered his mouth, I would have been okay with that. But the fact that we can clearly see a mouth here when the figure is turned on, that's incredible. That's that new material really allowing them to do a lot more diverse things with the Pixel Pals. And look, there's barely any color wash. It does not suffer from a lot of color wash. And I love the fact that the beard is a little bit more grayish than completely black. That's a detail that I just could not see when the figure was turned off. And I see it now, and I love that. That's freaking fantastic. On top of that, the same applies for his gloves. I thought he was wearing black gloves, but no, when you turn the figure on, they're more of a bluish gray, which looks really, really good. And the white of his pants aren't really white either. They're more of a dirty, gray, like those are used pants. He's been wearing those white pants for years, and they've gotten so dirty that they've turned gray. This is fan-freaking-tastic. This is ultimately the reason why I decided to unbox this figure for the channel, because it needed to be seen. These are great improvements to the Pixel Pal line. I said this about the Super Mario World line, but it applies even more so for the Street Fighter line, because they were able to take a figure that they've already done and do it better. The Ryu Pixel Pal is one of my favorites, but this version is way better. Just way better, and I'm really glad that I've done this unboxing right here, right now. Anyway guys, let's go ahead and move into some comparison time, alright? Alright guys, it's comparison time, and I wanted to try something a little different. So what I did was I loaded up Ultra Street Fighter 2 on my Nintendo Switch, and then I brought out all the Pixel Pals, lined them all up, so that you could take a look at all the Street Fighter Pixel Pals up to this point. And just take a look. They look really good standing side by side. But what's really cool is having the two Ryus standing next to each other. You see a lot of the differences between the two Ryus, and I think that's fantastic. They just look really, really good standing next to each other. Despite the fact that this version of Ryu has no business being among the other, the other Pixel Pals from the Street Fighter line, just because it's a Street Fighter 5 Pixel Pal, and up to this point, all the Pixel Pals they've released have been from Street Fighter 2. It's all good. I had to just get this figure here. This looks great though. I love this, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun taking this picture just because I like the background. Loading up Ultra Street Fighter 2 and just putting the Pixel Pals next to the TV, that was just a lot of fun for me. Alright guys, let's go ahead and test out the functionality of all the Pixel Pals standing side by side, okay? Alright guys, I couldn't resist. I had to take this picture. So check it out. I have all the figures lit up, and they look really cool, but I really like the way I set this picture up with Evil Ryu in the background. Why did I do it like this? One, because I'm giving you a hint as to the next Street Fighter Pixel Pal that's coming out. So right there, letting you guys know that the next Street Fighter Pixel Pal that I intend to pick up is Evil Ryu, which I hope has a lot of the improvements that Hot Ryu has. But anyway guys, just take a look at how sick these figures look when they're lit up next to this background. I can't lie, I don't want to remove my figures from this display. I just want to play Ultra Street Fighter 2 and essentially just have these Pixel Pals lined up this way while I play, because these look sick. These look sick, and the line as a whole is amazing. I love Street Fighter. I love Street Fighter. It is one of the games that I grew up playing as a kid in the arcades and at home. So the fact that I get to show it some more love here at home and have this awesome little setup, that totally makes me happy. It really, really does. I just love these freaking figures. They just look fantastic. And just look at them. Just look at them. They look freaking sick. Especially Hot Ryu. Hot Ryu looks freaking sick. And I can't wait to just get more figures for this line. Alright guys, just a couple more pictures before we go ahead and move into score time. So I went ahead and turned on my Super NES Classic Edition and loaded up Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. Because why not? Why not? Yeah, I know the game doesn't have any cutscenes that make for great screenshots, but never hurts to just showcase the Street Fighter logo, especially Turbo Hyper Fighting, simply because that was probably the best iteration on the Super Nintendo of Street Fighter 2. Such a phenomenal game. This is the game that I played the most back, when I was a kid at home. This was a game that constantly got rented. And I say rented because, we used to be able to rent video games at Blockbuster, and back in the day, Street Fighter games were expensive as hell. So this game got rented a lot. So it is what it is. Alright guys, let's move on to the last picture, alright? Alright guys, I just want to take one more picture of all the figures together and just showcase how I have them really set up. So this is my second TV in the living room. This is not the TV that we play games on mostly, but we do have it set up so we can play games. And this is the TV where I hooked up my Super NES Classic Edition. Just had to show it off because this is how we play our retro games. We play them on the smaller TV anyway. So glad to just go ahead and showcase it off for you guys. Swear one of these days I'm gonna do a room tour, just show you what it looks like when we game in the crib. But right now, just take a look at the mini TV setup and just see how we're playing some Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Anyway guys, let's go ahead and move into score time. Alright guys, it is score time. My favorite time. Why? Because I get to tell you whether or not something is actually worth your hard-earned money. So we know the retail price for Pixel Pals is $14.99 and Hot Ryu follows suit. I got mine from Amazon. Gotta hook myself up with that free Prime shipping and whatnot. Anyway, let's go ahead and start with the appearance. Hot Ryu has all the improvements that the Super Mario World Pixel Pal has, and that makes for a great feeling and looking figure when the lights are turned off. Looks good. A lot of things that we do not see here though. We do see them when we move into the functionality, but its appearance is great. I really like that, and even though this particular version of Ryu doesn't have like that Street Fighter Cross Mega Man counterpart, I think it is safe to say that if they were to incorporate Hot Ryu into Street Fighter Cross Mega Man or Mega Man Cross Street Fighter, that he would look exactly like this. PDP did a really good job of interpreting what Hot Ryu would look like in the Mega Man art style. I gotta say, I give him credit for that. Does this figure actually deserve a Pixel Pal? Like, did that version of Ryu deserve a Pixel Pal, to be more specific? Probably not. And I would have preferred it had they just stuck to the characters that just show up in the mini iterations of Street Fighter 2. Hey, look, if you want to go ahead and make a Violent Ken figure, I'm down with that, because Violent Ken is officially part of the Street Fighter 2 line with the addition of Ultra Street Fighter 2. The same applies for, Evil Ryu and Akuma. All those characters, if they showed up in Street Fighter 2 in some capacity, I'm okay with them getting their own Pixel Pals. Not as much as Hot Ryu. Hot Ryu being from Street Fighter 5 and that game having such a drastically different art style than any version of Street Fighter we've ever seen makes this figure a little blasphemous, but it is what it is. As far as its appearance is concerned, I'm going to give it a perfect 10. Moving on to its functionality. This figure is only second to the Super Mario World Mario. That is the only Pixel Pal that is better than this one, and I like this Pixel Pal so much. There are details that we cannot see unless this figure is turned on that make this figure really stand out. And it's because of the change in material. We discussed this with the Super Mario World Mario. The change in material just alters what Pixel Pals can be, and it makes them better because now you can have these like hidden details, like the mouth. The mouth is the most surprising part of this Pixel Pal to me, because when the figure is turned off, you do not see this mouth. It gets lost in the beard. And another thing that should be really noted is that the beard is black, but when you light the figure up, it comes off as a little bit more gray, revealing that mouth. This is a problem that the Cammy and the Bison figure had. Cammy with her black shoes looks like she has no feet. And Bison's, the brim of his hat and the bottom of his shoes also just kind of get lost because the light could not shine through. The changes to the material for this Hot Ryu figure, they are noticeable because the black isn't lost. The black becomes more of a light gray, and that ultimately would have helped Cammy because she wouldn't look like she's floating. So far as functionality is concerned, I am also giving this figure a perfect 10. I gave it a 10 for its appearance. I gave it a 10 for its functionality. This figure gets a perfect 10. This gets our official Nintendo Power Zone seal of quality, and it deserves it because these are changes that improve the line and make it that much better. This is the kind of change I wanted to see from PDP, and I really wish they had incorporated it into the Cammy and the Bison, but I'm pretty sure they went into production before the Super Mario World Mario. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get out of your hair, but before I let you go, social media links. You can hit me up on Twitter at nice1983. You can email me at nice1983@gmail.com. Hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/Nintendo Power Zone. If you're a fan of the Nintendo Power Zone podcast, you can always download new episodes on iTunes, Google Play Music, stream new episodes on Stitcher Radio. But if you want to watch the show live, you can catch us right here on YouTube, youtube.com/Nintendo Power Zone. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and remember, watch out for amiibo hunters on the prowl. Deuces.